Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. It's Ijoma here, and in today's video we are going to learn how to make a perfect princess dart. We are going to learn how to cut a perfect princess dart. This is just the cutting video, and I made this video mainly for beginners, for the people that are trying to learn how to cut some darts. After this particular dart, the next video that I'll upload will be on how to cut a shoulder dart. So we are going to learn something today. Here is my pattern paper. I want to start afresh. I want to start from bust point to everything. So first thing that you're going to do is to place your tape along the edge of your pattern paper. Then from there you will measure your bust point. The bust point that I'm using is 11 inches. The under bust that I will be using will be 14 inches. I'll go ahead and mark 14 inches. Her bust point is 11, under bust 14, half length is 17, and I will add extra 2 inches for the seam allowance. I am done marking my bust point, under bust, half length, and allowance. These are the basic vertical measurements that we need. Right now, I will mark a straight line along those lines. You need to mark your straight line because it will make it very easy for you to indicate where to measure from and where to stop at. I have marked my bust point line. I am marking my under bust line. This particular one that I'm marking now is my half length. This is my half length. And then my allowance, I added 2 inches allowance. If you want, you can add 3 inches, 1 inch. It is up to you. After doing this, the next thing that we are going to mark is our shoulder. The shoulder that I'm using for this bustier is 16 inches, and 16 inches divided by 2 is 8 inches. 16 inches on fold is 8 inches. Then from there, I will mark my chest line. I normally mark my chest line 2 inches above my bust point. My bust point is 11, 2 inches above it is 9 inches, and I marked 9. That particular dot that I marked there is at 9 inches. So if you want to get your chest line without stressing, just go up by 2 inches above your bust point, 2 inches above your bust point. And I'll mark a straight line down, and I'll also mark a horizontal line. Right now, we are going to get our neckline. We are going to mark our neckline. You can see I have gotten my most important lines, and I'll go ahead and label them. Labeling is very important. Before we do that, you find the midpoint of this armhole. 9 inches divided by 2 is 4.5. This point where I marked now is my 4.5. After marking that, this is the front pattern. Remember, we are marking our front pattern. I have gotten the midpoint of that chest line. 9 divided by 2 is 4.5. At that area where I marked 4.5, I will come in by half inch. You come in by half inch before you mark your armhole. You find the midpoint of your chest line. From there, come in by half inch, and then you mark your armhole. As I'm marking my armhole, it will go across that half inch point that I came in by. You can see this armhole crossed that armhole line a bit. So mark 0.5 inside, then connect to your armhole. I'm labeling my bust points, under bust, half length, and allowance. After this, I will mark my neckline. I'll measure my neckline. For this princess dart, we are using 3 by 3. 3 by 3. The wideness of our neck will be 3. The depth will be 3. I have marked my 3 by 3, and I will connect with my curve. I want you to note something. The armhole for the front and the back are not usually the same. For the shoulder slant, I came down by 1 inch. I will connect to my neckline. Along that armhole line, I went down by 1 inch, and I will connect from that 1 inch back to my neckline. This line that I'm marking right now is called the shoulder slant, and that is it for the shoulder and the neck area. After that, we are going to mark our darts. Our darts is really important. This is a process that before you mark your dart, you measure your nipple to nipple, like from one point of the nipple to the other points of the nipple. And I have 8. The measurement that I'll be using is 8. 8 divided by 2 is 4. That's why I'm marking 4. So my dart line is 4 inches. At the bust point, I'll mark 4 inches. My nipple to nipple is 8 divided by 2, 4. After marking 4 at the bust point, at the under bust, I will mark 3.5. Remember, I marked 4 at the bust point, under bust 3.5, half length 3.5, allowance 3.5. So basically, the dart along the bust point is wider than the one at the under bust and half length. It gives this princess dart a fine shape. Then connect the 3.5 to the 4 you marked at your bust point. At the shoulder, you will come down by 4 inches. At the armhole, you will come down by 4 inches. You can come down by 4.5 if you want, but I came down by 4. Then I will connect from my bust point to that 4 that I marked. From your armhole line, come down by 4 inches, then connect to your bust point. Our center piece is ready. This is the center piece for the princess dart. Now we are marking the side. I will take out 2 inches at the under bust. At the under bust, I will take out my 2 inches. This 2 inches is for bust cut. We want to get our bust or the breast curve. I mark 2 inches down to the allowance line and I will connect. Remember, these 2 inches will stop at the under bust. Then I will curve from that under bust to the bust point. You can see the shape of our bust or breast shape is coming out gradually. I will take out my armhole darts. From that point where I measured 4, I will come down by 2 inches. Remember, I measured 4 before. I came down by 2 inches from that 4, and then I will connect that line to my bust points. This is for the bust dart or armhole dart. After joining, your armhole will not be bulging. I am done marking that. You will notice that when you are joining the center and the side together, the side will be shorter. So in order to avoid that thing to occur, in order to avoid such thing to occur, you will have to extend this side line by 2 inches so that when you join the center and the side, they will be equal. If you are joining, you will notice that the side will be shorter. So in order to avoid that, extend your side line by 2 inches. I mean the darts at the armpit, extend it by 2 inches so that when you are joining it to the center, all of them will be equal. Then from there, from that 2 inches you extended, you mark a new armhole. You mark a new armhole. You can see that my armhole has shifted more. After joining, everything will align. This area that I am shading right now is the area that you will cut out. I'm trying to shade it so that you will not get confused. We will cut out this area that I am shading so that we can get our under bust curve and the darts at the armhole darts. After joining this, you will have a very fine princess dart and your cup will come out very well. This is what we have now. After that, we will measure our bust. Our bust is 44 divided by 4, 11 plus 2 inches seam allowance, 13. I am marking 13. At the waistline, you will divide your waist by 4. The waist we are using is 36. 36 divided by 4 is 9 inches. Then you will add 2 inches for that dart you took at the under bust. Remember, you took out 2 inches for your breast curve. You will add back that 2 inches. So 9 plus 2 will be 11, plus another 2 for seam allowance, that will be 13. You add back your dart allowance and then you add your normal seam allowance. I'll go ahead and connect down to my allowance and up to my bust. I have gotten my measurements now. I will go ahead and cut out. So just go ahead and cut. I'll cut my neckline, my shoulder slant. I'll cut out the center piece first. You can see my center piece. And then I'll cut off that area that I shaded. We don't need it. We will have to cut it out so that we can get our perfect princess dart. After that, I will cut my new armhole, and that is all for now. You can see that we have our front piece. Our front piece is very, very beautiful. If you pad it, it will come out fine. I will still upload the sewing video if you guys want me to upload the sewing video. So I'm trying to trim off the pointy part. You don't want it to be too pointy. This is what we have for the front. I hope you understand. If you have any question, please feel free to ask in the comment section. After this, we will draft our back pattern. Our back pattern will have a normal dart. If you want it to have a princess dart too, fine, but it will have a normal dart. First of all, I will go in by 1.5 for my zipper allowance. The back will have zipper allowance. I will go in by 1.5 for my zipper allowance, and I will mark a straight line down. This straight line down is for zipper allowance. Remember, I'll go ahead and mark this zipper allowance line. I am done marking that. I will mark my chest line. Remember, our chest line is 9. Our half length is 17 and 2 inches for seam allowance. For the back, you will not need bust points under bust. You only need your chest line and your half length. There is no breast at the back. That's why we did not use bust points under bust at the back. I'll go ahead and mark straight lines, my allowance, my half length, and my chest line. Remember, this chest line is 9, and I used 9 inches for the front. This chest line is 2 inches above the bust point. Then I will mark my 8 inches for my armhole, and I will connect down. After connecting down, you find the midpoint of this armhole line, and the midpoint is 4.5. From that midpoint, you will mark your armhole. You can see that the armhole for the front and the back are not the same. I came in by ½ inch at the front, but the back is just normal. Our armhole is okay. I will go ahead and mark 3 inches for the wideness of my neck. I'll label my lines first. This is chest line. This is half length. And this is allowance. Right now, I will measure my neck width, and then my shoulder slant 1 inch. My neck width is 3 inches. I will connect from there, from my shoulder slant to my neckline. Then the neck depth, the depth of the neck will be 1.5. Should be 1.5. You can make it 1 or 2. It depends on what you are sewing. Then after that, I'll go ahead and connect the neckline. This is our neckline. After that, we will take out a normal dart. We will use a normal dart for the back. If you want it to have a princess dart, that is still okay. I will mark 4 inches from my nipple to nipple. My dart line is 4. After that, I will extend a straight line up, but that straight line will stop at 1 inch below the chest line. It will not reach the chest line. It will stop at 1 inch below the chest line. Then I will take out half an inch on each side of this dart line. And you can notice that I'm marking these darts on the half length line. That is what I have here. You can see what I have there. After this, I will take my bust measurement and my waist measurement. The waist is 36 divided by 4, that is 9, plus 1 inch for that. I took out half on each side of this dart line, plus 1 inch for that, that is 10, plus 2 inches for normal seam allowance. 36 divided by 4 is 9, plus 1 inch for that, 10, plus another 2 inches for normal seam allowance, that is 12. We will mark 12. Our bust is 44. 44 divided by 4 is 11, plus 2 inches seam allowance, 13. I'll go ahead and mark my 13, and now I will connect. After connecting, I will cut out, and that is all for the back. You can see that the back is not really hard. If you want it to have a princess cut, just go ahead and curve that princess that's curve. Give it that princess that curve from your 4 inches down to this chest line, and that is it. So I'll label my zipper allowance. Remember, we have a zipper allowance. I'll label the zipper allowance, and that is all we have. I'll go ahead and cut out. And please, if you are cutting out on your fabric, remember to notch your dart. I will cut out the neckline, and you can see that the neckline extended to the zipper allowance. And that is all for the back. You can see that the neckline extended to the zipper allowance. That is all for the back. I hope you guys understood something from this video. If you want me to upload the sewing video, please indicate in the comment section so that I'll upload. Here is the front and here is the back. I hope it is beautiful, and I hope you grabbed something from this tutorial. I am Ijoma. I have online courses. They will start on the 1st of February, and I also run physical classes in Enugu. I have a fashion school in Enugu, so if you want to register with me, just drop a comment in the comment section. I also drop a link where you can chat me up. Thank you, and see you in my next video. Bye.